What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another video. Now, today I was hoping and praying for this Thursday to be a new article drop because it was kind of teased the week before that it wasn't coming last week, but it might be coming this week, and it is here. So we have a new article for us to go over, review, and react to. It is titled Flying High, announcing the Falcon Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. We're doing this in one take, so let's just go ahead and click on this and let's check it out. So, very, very slight spoilers for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you don't want to hear it, skip to like 20 seconds in the future. This was pretty obvious that we were getting Falcon. If you look at Baron Zemo's last main scheme card, he has Falcon and Winter Soldier in the art that is fighting him. Again, that's not always a clear indication of what the next two heroes are, but because of the fact that everyone had a pretty good idea what the last two silhouettes were, and the fact that they're on his last main scheme card, I think it makes a lot of sense that our next two heroes yet to be officially revealed would have been one being Falcon, and so I'm thinking the other one is for sure Winter Soldier. Now back to the article. So we have March 20th, 2025, Flying High announcing the Falcon Hero Pack for the Marvel Champions card game. I want to say this art that they used right here for his little banner looks awesome. It looks great. This art is probably his hero art, also looks really good. Let's just get into it. Now I can do this all day, Falcon. That's pretty funny. I like their little like coy MCU or Avengers or whatever comic references. This is definitely an MCU reference. So that's pretty cool. So here we go. Sam Wilson has always helped people, serving as a prodigious social worker even before he became a soaring superhero. Once he donned a pair of high-tech vibranium wings, Sam, also known as Falcon, used his aerial mobility and empathic connection with birds to provide his fellow Avengers a powerful tactical advantage. A longtime partner of Steve Rogers, Sam has even taken on the shield and title of Captain America to serve as the soaring symbol of truth. Fantasy Flight Games is proud to announce the Falcon Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. As a high-flying Avenger and master of the air, Falcon soars into the battle with this expansion pack, which introduces him as a new playable hero alongside 15 signature cards. Equipped with the pre-built leadership deck, I like that. Cap is leadership. We have a lot of, kind of homages going on here. To command his allies from the skies, you'll be able to use Falcon's keen eyesight and adaptable nature from the moment you open the box. This pack also features a bonus modular encounter set featuring Fixer of the Thunderbolt. Okay, so we do have another Thunderbolts encounter set with this hero pack. So we're going to look at these cards real quick and kind of make some stuff out, but I'm pretty sure they're going to go into it with greater detail. So we have a 2-cost ally called Red Wing. We have his hero and alter ego side. We have Birds of Prey, which is 2-cost event. And we also have a 1 per player upgrade. It's a condition, so it seems like something that gets attacked to the villain. It's hold their fire, maybe. Let's read his hero card. So he has shield on his alter ego, like a couple of cards in this game, like War Machine, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Black Widow, and Spider-Woman, I think are all of them, other than Nick Fury and Maria. Birds of a Feather action. Discard 1 card from your hand. Search your deck and discard pile for a bird card and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. So I wonder if we had a new trait being bird. I don't think there's any other card in the game with that trait yet, so it makes sense for him to introduce it. This is pretty interesting because it is limit once per round, but I wonder if his like event cards are bird cards, which would have a lot of flexibility there, or it's only like allies and his signature ally, which would be a lot less versatile, but it would still be good if you're searching for a specific card. If we look at his hero card here, he's got that 2/2/2 stat line, again 10 health as usual, 5 hand size. He has that really gold standard hero stat line. He can do a bit of everything. Aerial and Avenger, and it says during the player phase, play with the top card of the encounter deck face up. Okay, so that's kind of an homage to like his ally card, which lets him look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck and remove threat for it. You just always get the top card of the encounter deck first face up, so it's kind of like a reverse magic in a way. And then he also has an eagle-eyed response. After you play an aerial card, discard the top card of the encounter deck. So it's not a force response, so you don't have to do it. So the immediate thing that points out to, in solo specifically that stands out to me here is that you can really adjust what type of boost effect you get against a villain. But even more importantly, if they aren't stalwart, if you have a stun or confuse on them, you can manipulate the actual encounter card you get dealt, which can make him be pretty strong for solo play, even pretty good for like two player as well. Obviously, an ability like this goes down in value as the player count goes up because there's so much variance in the encounter deck. But that being said, I think it's a pretty strong ability, and this response isn't limited to. It's not something that's limited to once per phase or round, so it's pretty interesting. But let's go ahead and read this more. So, Eagle Eye, as you might expect from a winged hero with a connection to birds, Falcon's entire playstyle revolves around the power of flight, as well as the unique advantages it affords him. So, I'm getting kind of Angel vibes here, where Angel wants to be playing a ton of aerial cards for a ton of his boosts on all of his hero cards. Falcon is in a similar way, but he's not too locked into it. Discarding the top card of the encounter deck is good, but if the top card of the encounter deck is something you want to get dealt as an encounter card or a low boost, it's not that important. I'm sure he will have other ways to interact with it, though. For starters, Sam Wilson can search his deck and discard power for a bird card to add to his hand. The most obvious target for this ability is his trusty sidekick Red Wing, who can deal decent burst damage or threat removal, depending on the number of boost icons discarded from the encounter deck. So let's read Red Wing real quick. Okay, we have 19 cards here, which is, I think, pretty crazy for an article. I think we're going to be seeing a ton of cards from his pack. So this is an aerial, this is an Avenger, which is awesome. I love that we have birds that are Avengers. Again, I know nothing about the comics really speaking, so Red Wing, Avenger, awesome. A 1 Thor, 1 attack, and 2 health. As a hero action, you can exhaust him, return him to your hand, so you can mount him to your hand, and then discard the top card of the encounter deck. Choose to either deal X damage to an enemy or remove X threat from a scheme, where X is the number of boost and boost icons or kind of boost effect. Star icons or boost icons in the discarded cards boost area. This is pretty good. So you have to think about this as the opportunity cost of like playing a 2-cost attack event or a 2-cost thwart event. Obviously, it's not the best thing in the world, but what you can do is you can have him activate 1 time for 1 thwarting. If you have a ready, then you can use his hero action. If you don't have a ready, you can think of him as like a 4 justice or a 2-cost attack event, as long as the card he is removing is at least 3 threat or 4. It's pretty in line with most of the event cards in specific hero kits. Most hero kits will do like 2 for 3 thwarting, or they'll do if you can do 2 for 5 might be a kind of a pipe dream to get damage out of this. So I think for the most part you're probably doing it with threat, but this isn't bad. And if you're okay with the tempo hit or using him as a block, you can do like 1 thwarting and then get maybe cycle for a better encounter card to hopefully discard to get like even more thwarting out of him in the next round. So it's not bad. Naturally, you want to make sure that you discard a card with as many boost icons as possible, and that's where Falcon and his innate abilities come in. So we did read about that. When Falcon is in hero form, the top card of the encounter deck is turned face up during the player phase, and every time you play an aerial card, you can choose to discard the top card of the encounter deck. These 2 abilities combined will allow you to know exactly how many boost icons will be on the top encounter card at the deck at any time, representing Falcon's proficiency at scouting. As you might expect, such you get the most possible use out of cards of like Birds of Prey and Bird's Eye View, which both scale with the number of icons in encounter cards boost area. You do have to discard a card from the encounter deck to gain those benefits, but thankfully, since Falcon's first ability is always active, you'll immediately flip the top new card of the encounter deck to know what's coming next. So let's read these 2 cards. So I guess this is Bird's Eye View is not listed here, but Birds of Prey is, so I'm assuming this is an attack event. Birds of Prey 2-cost attack event. It is pretty crazy art. I don't know who this artist is, but yeah, it's very detailed. Aerial attack event. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy, so it's a bit undercosted, which I assumed. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each icon in the discarded card's boost area. I'm really glad that they're counting like the star icon as well, because a couple of the older kind of like encounter deck effects only counted the little boost icons. So he just gets that little bit of versatility that bumps up his power a little bit more, especially in scenarios that might have like the star and also boost icons on multiple cards. So pretty cool. It's definitely undercosted, but for the most part it should be relatively on the curve, with normal hero cards being 2 for 5 damage. And then maybe it can go even higher. You can do 2 for 6, 2 for 7, maybe even 2 for 8. But that would be a kind of a pipe dream in my opinion. You need 4 icons in that corner, and then we have bird's eye view, which is okay. I should have understood that if that was the attack event, this would be the thwart one. We have bird's eye view here. Aerial thwart. You remove 3 threat from a scheme. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to remove 1 additional threat for each card in the boost area. So 2 for 3 is pretty normal running. So you can get to like a 4 justice with 1 or a lot higher. I think this is definitely much more exciting than birds of prey, mostly because that's a lot of high like burst thwarting in my opinion, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah. Which both scale the number of icons you want to discard. Of course, scouting the encounter deck will only get you so far. And the rest of Falcon's kit is designed to help his team weather any storm that might emerge from the cards you don't see in advance. Oh, so I was assuming he had a treachery cannon because it would make sense. So aerial evacuation can pull Friend out of harm's way, while draw their fire lets Falcon defend for the entire team without exhausting. Okay, we gotta read these. Aerial evacuation. We got a preparation card, which is really awesome. I love the flavor. Hero interrupt. When another friendly character would be dealt any amount of damage, discard aerial evacuation. Prevent all of that damage. Change to alter ego form. If that character is a hero, they also change to alter ego form. This is a really interesting card. So you can defend, you can basically take all the damage from an attack. You don't even have to exhaust for it. And you both get a free flip down to alter ego. I feel like that's crazy. Especially for characters. I mean, it forces you to change to alter ego form, which is pretty important. But it lets you get a recover off. It lets you do all these things. Well, I think that's a really fun and versatile card, especially for multiplayer. I like that. While draw their fire, let's Falcon defend for the entire team. So this is the 1 per player upgrade. Hero response. After the villain phase begins, discard draw their fire. Falcon does not exhaust to defend until the end of the phase. I can do this all day. Wait, this is a crazy card. So it's a 1 cost preparation upgrade, and he can defend for the whole table. This makes like defensive builds really good with him. If you have like an armored vest or something and anything else, you can literally, yeah, you can just take the attack for the entire table, especially if there's additional activations. You could just be like, defend for 3, defend for 3, defend for 3. That is really cool and fun. I really like this card a lot. Obviously, the card goes up in cost as the more players. I really like this idea of making it, more costly in multiplayer, because it is such a stronger effect with more players. I think that's really cool. If a relatively mild encounter card is on the top of the deck, you can use aerial recon. Oh wow, that link is messed up a bit. Okay, hopefully it's there. It's not. Okay, this is a messed up link. That's fine. So we have aerial recon here. I thought it would be in the little gallery thing. It is not. So let's just see this one. So he has an upgrade, aerial tactic. Okay, we got a tactic here. I like all these upgrades that are low cost that he has. The preparations, hero action, exhaust aerial recon and deal a player 1 face down encounter card. Place 1 recon counter here. A player would be dealt an encounter card. Remove 1 recon counter from here instead. Exhaust aerial recon to deal a player 1 face down encounter card. Place 1 recon counter here. When a player would be dealt an encounter. So let's say that you have a really easy encounter card. So you actually want to take that encounter card. Then what you could do instead is when the encounter phase comes around and you're actually getting dealt 1, you can choose to not take an encounter card. That is really fun and interesting design. I wouldn't have even thought about that in a million years. That's awesome. You can use aerial recon to deal it to a player early, allowing you to. I always think about Thor when we have encounter deck manipulation. You could give him a minion. You can guarantee he gets a minion and then stop the other encounter card he gets, allowing you to potentially avoid a nastier encounter card later down the line. If things start to turn south, you can utilize the Talon line in conjunction with a big discarded card to swing the game's momentum back in your favor. Let's read this. Talon line upgrade. He has a ton of upgrades, but dude, the art on these cards are great. Item. Hero response. After you resolve Falcon's eagle-eyed ability, discard Talon line. For each icon in the discarded card's boost area, choose 1. Oh my, wait, what? Okay, so we use his ability to discard an encounter card that's kind of nasty. If this is already down, For every single icon, you can do one of these things. You can either choose to stun an enemy or ready a character you control. But since it's an upgrade, you can keep it on the table the entire time until you need it. I think that's really cool. This design is just really fun. I don't have like a ton of like negative to say about it. I'm not really thinking of power here. I just think the way that he's working with the encounter deck, I feel like he has so much interesting interaction and control with the encounter deck. So much fun. And let's go ahead and get to talking about kind of his back of pack cards. So we have Hugin and Moonin and Flight Squadron. So outside of his signature cards, the rest of Falcon's pre-built leadership deck is also themed around flight, particularly the aerial trait. So we can do some hone technique, dive bomb shenanigans. Kicking things off, we have the Flight Squadron support card, which grants Falcon an extra ally slot and a once per turn ready as long as all his allies are... Whoa! Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Max 1 team card per player. If each of your allies has the aerial trait, increase your ally limit by 1, and this card gains response after you play an aerial card. Exhaust this card. Oh, ready an ally you control. Okay, so once return ally ready. Okay, I did not read that part of it. Yeah, this is cool. I think it combos really well with his signature Red Wing. It lets you get some Thorning down on the table, put him back in your hand, maybe play him again. It's huh. Since it's not a hero ready, it's an ally ready. It's a bit worse. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I think this is really cool, flavorful that we're having team cards for some of the lesser represented traits. I mean, Flight Squadron. This isn't like a team. It's not Avengers or anything. So I think that's a ton of fun. Wow, this is pretty cool. Okay, I'd have to think about and mule over on this one a bit. So it says this naturally pairs well with allies like Hugin and Moonin, which are not only aerial but also a bird ally, which means Sam can summon them from his deck in alter ego form. So because it says bird ally, I assume like even though looking at all his cards they showed us, none of them have the bird trait, which makes sense. The bird trait should be for birds, so they're only going to be for allies basically. But let's see what this does more in depth. Aerial Asgard. I really like Asgard support. I assume they're from Asgard. That could be the only reason. And Bird. After Hugin and Moonin enter play, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engage with you. Ready one character you control for each icon in that minion. Whoa. Okay. That's crazy. Ready one character you control for each icon in that minion's boost area. So it's not like an Angela where it costs 0. It does actually cost to play this card. You don't have to use the response, but if you do, you can get some readies going. Again, we're thinking of squared off Thor. This is a crazy card for Thor. You get a minion, you get to get free readies on your allies. Man, blue Thor is just eating forever, it seems like. Saving some of them from his egg, they can ready multiple characters at once, which synchronizes well with Arrow. So this is another ally, Lei Ling, aerial agent of Atlas. No idea what that is. Hero action, exhaust arrow. Choose a player until the end of that phase. Each aerial character that player controls gets +1. Okay, so if we're doing aerial tribe stuff, that's really good. The fact that you can just keep exhausting arrow to buff up all your aerial cards, and then you have readies through maybe like a command team. You have readies through Hugin and Moonin. You'll have readies through Flight Squadron. Yeah, I could see that being pretty cool, especially if you're doing like swarming with like aerial characters. Allowing you to get extra uses out of her attack boost. Once you get an ally that you want to keep around as long as possible, mark another ally as your wingman. Oh, okay. What is this? It's like so we have Captain America Falcon here, and then we have Joaquin Torres, I think is his name, as the new Falcon wingman attached to an aerial ally, maximum per ally. Dude, the flavor is awesome here. The title, wingman, it's so great. Interrupt. When another aerial ally would take any amount of consequential damage, exhaust attached ally, prevent one of that damage. So another ally is your wingman to reduce consequential damage they take. Wait, did I read that wrong? When another aerial ally would take any amount of damage, exhaust attached ally. So the wingman isn't the person that's actually taking the reduced damage, they're preventing damage from other aerial cards. Finally, with so many different traits on display in Falcon's deck, you can make great use out of the flexible strength and diversity. Okay, so we have a 2-cost alliance card. So we have Maria Hill, a Silk, and Falcon here, which is awesome. I love that. I think this was art made for the game. Yeah, because you can see the artist down here. Oh, this is cool. So obviously it's for Marvel Champions. For each different trait on friendly characters in play, choose to remove one threat from a scheme or deal 1 damage to an enemy. That is pretty interesting as an event. How many different traits would you need to make this worth? Oh, it's only 2 costs, so anyone can help play for it. Oh, no, it's 2 per player. Sorry. Um, hmm. You need a lot of traits to make this worth it in multiplayer. I think it's fun flavor though. Not everything has to be crazy. Let's say if you have 3 in solo, I mean, you kind of get your, you get your money's worth, so to say, in terms of efficiency, and you can split up the damage and thwarting. That's pretty cool. With an extra, I saw another Warlock, Arrow, and Cloud9, and Hugin, Moon, and all and play alongside Falcon himself. That's 7 traits you can turn. Oh, I forgot it's every different trait. It's not just like Avenger, X-Men, or Shield. It's like Ariel as well, Asgard as well, Bird as well. So, okay, yeah. And then we're getting an Adam Warlock reprint, which is pretty funny. I like this ally, and he helped me get my first quote-unquote Ronin win. He's awesome. Cloud9 is another new card. Oh, no, I think this is a reprint as well. Exhaust Cloud9. Choose a player until the end of that phase. Each aerial character that player controls gets +1 thwart. Oh, so it's like the opposite of Arrow or like yeah, I forgot this card existed, but I'm pretty sure it's in the game. And that's 7 traits you can turn into damage or threat removal, all without even taking other players into account. So now we're gonna get into his extra modular set here, which is Techno. So now that I've played a bit of the Thunderbolts, I can kind of understand how this villain's gonna work. It comes with the modular encounter set featuring the Fixer. He's an elite, he's genius, and he's a Thunderbolt with villainous and victory on 2 scheme 1 attack. This is kind of the higher scheme 1 but lower attack, which means he's probably gonna have kind of a nasty effect. Force Interrupt. When a non-scenario specific tech attachment would be attached to the villain, attach it to Fixer instead. Text on that card refers to the villain refers to Fixer instead. Like his fellow Thunderbolts, Fixer is a formidable elite minion with health well into the double digits. His specialty revolves around tech attachments, and he has the unique ability to equip non-scenario specific ones that would normally be reserved for the villain. I would assume his encounter has a ton of tech attachments that are for the villain, but if you played in the actual scenario, they're always going to be attached to him. The couple of tech attachments of his own in the form of Jetpack. Tech attached to Fixer, otherwise attached to the villain. Attached enemy gains Aerial. When the attached character will take 3 or more damage, prevent all that damage and discard Jetpack. Vroom. And a Tech Pack. +1 scheme, +1 attack. Attach to Fixer, otherwise attached to the villain. Attached enemy gets +1 attack for each other tech attachment it has. Exhaust any number of characters you control. The combined thwart greater than or equal to the enemies than the attached enemy scheme. Discard this card. So you would need an ally with 3 scheme or something. Or wait, it says characters, right? Yeah, okay. I'll top that off with his technological innovation. This is his side scheme. Turn their technology against them. The Fixer. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a tech attachment and reveal it. Place one additional threat here for each tech card in play. So this is kind of like an Iron Man counter, it looks like, because man, it's gonna have a ton of threat on it if you're playing as Iron Man. Player encounter, and it's clear that the Fixer is not someone to be underestimated. I mean, it says that. This is probably one of the easiest Thunderbolts in the entire set. He doesn't have anything when he engages you. He doesn't have anything when he attacks you. I can't. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of tech attachments in the Thunderbolt scenario anyways, unless you want to mess with modular sets. So this is an extremely easy one. I feel like if you're looking for an easier experience with Thunderbolts, this would be the one you'd want to pick. As an elite Thunderbolt minion, Fixer's encounter set can be used as part of the Thunderbolt scenario in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That said, it's still a modular encounter set its own right. You can add Fixer to any scenario for some extra challenge. Better suit up if you hope to win. And then this is his alter ego art, which is really cool. I like this. Just the art in this game is usually, for the most part, really great, and that's no exception. Aero Recon. With his arsenal of aerial cards and his ability to scout out and exploit the encounter deck, Falcon is a terrific hero and a fantastic addition to any team. Look forward to taking on the Agents of AIM with Falcon when the Falcon Hero Pack arrives in June. Okay, so June is when this is dropping. I was wondering if this would be April or not. It does not look like it. This will be June, so cool. Wow, that's awesome. I really like this. There's a couple of cards that I thought were really unique and interesting from him specifically. This aerial evacuation card, I love this. Just giving people a free flip. They can use their alter ego and whatnot. Draw their fire is also really great. It's just the flavor and thematics timeline. The art is awesome. It's just like the flavor on these cards. It's just like really thematic and cool. And I'm just a big fan of it. There's not a ton else to say. The art is great. Yeah, Falcon's awesome. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below for this early reaction analysis to Falcon. Are you guys excited to try him out and start manipulating some encounter deck? Maybe team up with Silk and Maria Hill like in that card. Get a ton of thwarting and damage out on the table. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun. But of course, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching as always. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.